Hi, my name is Steven, and my last name is Elric. In the deaf and the blind community, this is my sign name. I was born and raised in New York. To be more exact, I was born in an area called Fairland, but later I moved to Feshling. Where is it? It's the home of the New York Mets and the New York Giants. I grew up in a foster family, and I never got to know my real parents through my life. My foster parents took care of me, and they took me back and forth to oral school. PS 907. They took me back and forth. And after I graduated that, in ninth grade, I went to a hearing school where I was mainstreamed. There were no interpreter services, no note takers, nothing. Why? Because I was in school before the 1970s. After the 1970s, there were interpreting services like note takers, and it spread all throughout. I got that when I was in college, but in high school, I missed a lot of things because I went to a hearing high school. After I graduated that, I decided to go to Gallaudet in 1969, and I went to my first class in 1970. I went through all 4 years at Gallaudet University and graduated with my bachelor's. After I graduated from Gallaudet, in May 1972, I moved to California for a year later. I enrolled in California State University of Northridge. They accepted me as an education student. They understood that I didn't want to teach the deaf because as a deaf-blind teacher, I would have problems. I currently have Usher syndrome. Number 1. This means that I was born deaf and I had vision, limited vision, but as I grew older, it diminished. Now, if I was a teacher for the only deaf students, this would give me a lot of problems because I wouldn't be able to see them. They would pick on me and it just wouldn't be good. So I told them I only wanted to teach deaf-blind students. So I enrolled in their education program, and I learned more about technology education, assistive technology. I was the first deaf-blind student enrolled there, and they got me an interpreter, a tactile interpreter, and a note taker, and it was awesome. I graduated with my master's in 1975. A year later, I moved to Seattle, and I went to Lighthouse for the Blind. They hired me as their first deaf-blind teacher. Lighthouse had a few deaf-blind clients, but most were hearing, but were blind, but they had no deaf-blind students. And it wasn't easy to communicate. It was pretty hard.